Hello all, welcome back to chapter 3 of the Living Story series that I'm doing. My name's Funda and welcome to Lion's Arch. Behind me you'll see there a poster that began to show up back in early October. It was advertising a new resort. It's written in Tyrian I think, but clever detectives deciphered it, and there was a new resort that was going to be opening soon. Okay, random quag and pimp. Going to be opening soon by a group called the Consortium. Now, this was a group that was new to Lion's Arch, a rival company for the Black Lion Trading Company, who we're all familiar with. That's the Consortium there in their blue and gold uniforms. Now, at the same time, and without any sort of fanfare, something strange happened on the shores of Lion's Arch. We had whales beaching themselves. Now, we didn't really understand what that was about at first, but it seems that something had been stirring deep in the ocean, and the whales didn't like it very much, and so it started beaching themselves up onto the shores of Lion's Arch. It was quite cool. It was like people just found them there on the beach one day, and with buckets of water, and started to try and revive and get them back into the water. The Consortium, they showed up, they've got these plans to open this new resort island down in the Sea of Sorrows. Now, we didn't know much about them at the time, everyone was quite excited that we were going to have a new map to explore. Now, the first sign of trouble was when these giant monsters attacked and destroyed the lighthouse in Lion's Arch. We came to know these as the Karka. We didn't know anything about them at the time. They were previously unseen. And we had a massive battle up here outside Fort Mariner, which we didn't fare very well with. The Karka had these shells which were basically indestructible, and so the egg layers that we came up against just kept spawning and spawning, and we did as best as we could, but eventually the Karka sort of fled back into the ocean. That then led us on a bit of a scavenger hunt to find out exactly what was happening. We consulted with some of the underwater racers to see what they knew about them. We collected new materials. We met with researcher Levy for the first time, and they'd been warning about an attack that was imminent, which Captain Magnus hadn't sort of paid much attention to. But after the lighthouse got destroyed and Lion's Arch invaded, we didn't have much choice. So, we spoke to as many people as we could, collected as much information as we could, went back to to Levy, and we eventually discovered some solvents that would work on the Karka shells. That allowed us to take the fight back to them, and then the mission became to find where they came from, and to stop this nonsense of having them try and invade Lion's Arch. So that was one of the warning posters that we saw, basically to say that these Karka were not something to be messed with. Now, this looks a bit grander than it did the first time we came here. Now, this is going to be controversial, and I sort of want to whisper when I say this, but I really like the Lost Shores update. I thought it was amazing. I know it gets a lot of criticism these days for the lag and people who disconnected, and but ArenaNet fixed up the disconnects, and but it was a one-off episode, and a lot of people didn't like that. And look, I am sympathetic towards the people that missed out, because I was very lucky with it. I managed to get almost no lag, had a full server, and we went to town on this island. It was fantastic. At the start, we came in on the ships. There was no settlement back there, landing point. We made our way across the beach. I came in at Lions. There was another group came in at Pride Point across the island. The two groups fought across the beach, clearing the way, got together. then charged up the hill to form our first base. Now this is a bit grander than it was at the time, and well, a hell of a lot more dangerous. But yeah, this was our first point of call on the island, and it was fantastic. Look, this was a pristine island, as I mentioned in the first chapter. There was nothing here except deadly kaka. So the fact that we came along here and we cut these trees down, like we work with the Lions Arch. They took these trees down. We kept them safe as they built this road right in front of our eyes. It was pretty amazing. And so yeah, for all the flack that Southsun does cop, and it's not without its problems. Yeah, I always remember that this is I was here then, and we built this road together. Eventually, that epic quest led us to the top of the ancient Karka chamber. Now, this is the champion who lives here now, but back in the day, the ancient Karka was ruling all, and we forced him back up there before finally setting explosives and knocking him down where I've just jumped down. And yeah, final epic battle down here on the rocks. They gave way. He fell into the lava, and yeah, so the lava encrusted body's still down here today. So yeah, look, I thought it was an epic story, and I know it was once off, and a lot of people missed out, but yeah, I really hope we see some of those things again. Skipping ahead to May of 2013, we find ourselves back in Southsun Cove and rejoining the living story. The refugees who've been displaced by the Molten Alliance are now taking up settlement in the consortium's new home, and we're just checking in to see how that's going. Advisor Rock here mentions a man named Kanak. He says that he was an independent contractor and that they wish him well. Now, Kanak was the Silvari, a second-born Silvari, who led up the expedition which discovered the island here, and subsequently met the Karka, got a little aggravated and attacked Lions Arch. So the consortium's sort of in a position where they want to pin everything on Kanak and make nice that everything's okay, and it's a new start. So that's all well and good, except that we've heard rumour that Kanak is on the run, being hunted by the consortium's euphemistically named decommission teams, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, he's on the run currently, and yeah, despite Administrator Callis's optimism about the lifestyle down here, we've just come down to catch up with the refugees who are expressing some discontent about how things have turned out for them. Now, they signed contracts to come down here, and this is how Southsun looked back in the day when we first arrived. Obviously, it's come a long way, and a lot of that is due to the labour of the refugees that have come down here for supposedly a new start, but is looking more and more like forced labour. So they're not terribly happy about that. So we catch up with some of those, and yeah, you can see that they're not keen. So this is Agrin Vicegrip. He's down here with his partner, who we'll meet again later. Now, she's working for the consortium, but yeah, you'll see that a lot of the settlers and some of the resort tourists here are not very happy. This is not a safe place to be, and yeah, the consortium, a bit reckless, but planning to stick to their guns. Now, Ellen Keel was our one of the leaders of the Lion Guard when we took the island from the Karka and yeah, pushed back against the attacks, and so she's heading up the efforts down here. She instructs us to go and see researcher Levy, who we remember from the Lost Shores. Levy's once again tasked with the job of figuring out what's going on. Now, you'll have seen a pod back there which is similar to this one, which emits pheromones, which we were tasked with collecting those from around the island. There's a third one down here, and reporting back to Levy to figure out exactly what these new pods were, and what was causing the wildlife to be even more dangerous and aggravated than normal. As Levy worked, an attack on Driftglass Springs involving a woman named Henrika. She said that she regretted being involved, but she was desperate. The contracts were keeping them there, and he had a plan. He turned out to be a Silvari, kind of a snob, she said. Tough though, and he knows the island inside and out. Um, Ellen Keel, of course, knows who this is. A reckless Silvari who knows Southsun Cove and has a grudge against the consortium. We're looking for Canuck. So we catch up with Ellen Keel again. She's discovered the location of Canuck's lair deep under the island, and she's been in, had a look. It turns out he's booby trapped the place with mines, and we need to disarm each of the mines and then kite him through them to win this fight. It's as you can see, Canuck doesn't actually think he was doing anything wrong here. He's on the settler side. He knows what the consortium's like, and his plan was basically to free them. But yeah, the Kaka are a very dangerous thing to control, and not the best way to go about it. He's marked the contracts, even though we've captured him. The contracts are still marked for destruction, and the animals should attack soon. Ellen jumps on it, orders a line guard emergency, and says that she'll be getting the contracts out on her ship that she'll provide. There was also a group instance where you took on Subdirector Null, a golem that worked for Canuck. So with the contracts marked and the Kaka attack imminent, there wasn't much choice but to load them onto a ship and to get them off the island and back to Lion's Arch. So we joined with Subdirector Knoll and Ellen Keel, as well as some of the refugees, to escort them back to a ship. Now, that was a bit conflicting for the player. The refugees obviously weren't happy here, but when the alternative is getting stomped and rolled over by Kaka, you do what you have to. The contracts were loaded safely onto the ship, and Noel breathed a sigh of relief. However, an explosion sank the ship and basically destroyed all the contracts. Ellen had got everyone off the ship. It was her idea, her vessel. Magnus, the bloody-handed, was happy. Her boss gave her a couple of days off, but it was an interesting choice. Given the consortium have been trying to settle their disagreement with Canuck, I wonder if this is going to come back on Ellen. This was Agrin and his partner. He was the one complaining earlier, but is free now. Henrika was one of the ones that attacked, working with Canuck, the settlement. But so Noel, no good. He was told that he had to get the contracts off. That was a major priority for the consortium. So he's definitely not in their good books now. I do like these memos though. Things are getting serious when they pull out the good stationery and the double underlines. That's when you really worry. Even though the riding settlers might be gone, the animals are still not happy.
We'll keep an eye on it.
And there's a Kaka meta event now, the Queen, which players can take part in to try and keep them under control. But Ellen and Levy here just discussing that we might have to come back and deal with this at another time. Meanwhile, Lord Farron and Lady Casimir Mead made their way down to the Southsun Island for the resort opening, avoiding most of the trouble. Lady Casimir was there to avoid Farron, and Farron was there to avoid the angry crowds from the Fanciest Cat competition held recently in Divinity's Reach, of which Chauncey von Snuffles came second. And if you've met Chauncey, it does seem like an outrage. So we're not sure how Farron came to that choice, but there was also Krabtos, a mini game that was added in this release, which another poorly thought out idea from the consortium where you get rolled by Kaka. Catching up with Brahm. is been in touch with him, his mother, and yeah, he's still not happy and not willing to talk with her. But yeah, we haven't found out what she wants yet. But and Attilia is not sure why she's back in Craigstad. She's keen on Brahm, but yeah, she's not so keen on the village life. And to wrap up, yeah, the victims of the Molten Alliance are now free to live as they please. Ellen Keel, good job in front of the boss, looking good. Noel, not so happy, and Canuck behind bars. Yeah, the consortium are an interesting addition to this. They certainly used legal trickery to get people to come down and work for them. Now, does that make them evil? Does that make them a corporation? Does that mean that everybody who works for them is of one mind? So yeah, worth paying attention to. Okay, thanks for your time, and see you next time.